Hi guys, Changro here, and this is ATM Gravitas, episode 11. In this episode, I was going to do steel, but a new version of the mod pack just got released last night and set me on a different path. There's some new recipes, some new ways to automate iron from the bloom. So we're going to take a look at that today, so stick around. Before we do that, though, let's take a look around. Look up there. I've been to the nether. I'm going to show you that. Our bees, we're now in the spring, I think, and it's warming up, and we're getting honey, and every beehive has 4 queens in it. Oh, except for that one has 3. Get with it. We've been to the nether. This was pretty uneventful, so I didn't include it in a video, the entry into the nether. How did I get to the nether? Because the flint and steel requires steel, and I'm not at steel yet. But there's another way, which is we saw last time that we got coal coke, and with coal coke you can make a fire charge, gunpowder, fire starter, and coal coke. Very easy once you've got coal coke, of course, and you can light a portal with a fire charge. Let's jump in quick and see what's up. Roberto the Dirt Digger has awoken nearby. Every time I come into the nether, an apotheosis mob boss spawns. I don't see him anywhere. You can usually see them, you know, they've got spectral effect on them, but I don't see him. There's a bastion over there, so that's pretty cool. So guys, the nether, and we've got obviously glowstone, not quartz, nether quartz, and gold. No more panning for gold. Speaking of gold, piglins don't trade gold. They'll take your gold, but they don't give you anything back. I think, I'm not sure if that's intentional or not in the pack, but don't waste your gold on those guys. I mean, you might want to test it if it changes, but I spent 2 golds learning that lesson. Some great building blocks over here, but this is what I wanted to take a quick look at, which is this Crimson Forest. Here's what's great about that. I built this bridge over here. These right here, crimson stems. This is wood. Easy wood. Watch out for hoglins over here. Yeah, so as soon as we can get some bone meal, we can hit these fungus, grow more, have endless wood. Now the crimson wood doesn't... Glad I got my gold chestplate on. Let's head back. Notice my thirst bar is bright red. It's pretty hot in here. My temperature's heading toward 58 degrees, which is certain death. I don't know how long that's going to take or how long we can stay here. I don't see any... Grab this gold. Because when you mine gold, you also get... these Zeganite shards, which are from the V's Craft Machines mod, which I've never used, but it seems like some transportation. A boat, ultrasonic travel, flying machines. Sounds pretty cool. All right, let's head back. Let's head back home. Okay. Now, last time when we talked about the bees, I mentioned how I regretted not setting those up much earlier. They're really easy. The other thing that I regret not doing is getting some wool type creatures, sheep or llamas, and let's do that right now. Let's take some of this rosewood. And check this out. There's some really cool fences in this pack. Like this rosewood log fence. I want to try that out. So we need some lumber. I think I have some lumber in here. And let's make a big animal pen. Or maybe not so big. 32. Let's put that over here, not too far away, because yeah, this is some pretty cool fence. We need to keep feeding these guys to get them familiar enough so that we can shear them and breed them. All right, so let's do this. This is temporary. Let's get these. Oh, I can walk over fences with these boots because they have 1 1/4 step height. That's amazing. Okay, well, this is to get them in here. I need a lead. Now, this is going to be a rescue mission. We've got a couple llamas. There's a lead. I had more than one. There's another one. Maybe we can get them both. There's a couple llamas trapped in the river. There's one of them. And the other one is way down here. There he is. So look at this cave. This is so cool. When there's an end to a river, it's usually going into a cave like that. Okay, will this guy swim with me? Come on, friend. And the other guy's up here. Can I reach him? Let's drop him into the water. Can we do that? It's going to take a while, but this will work. Hey! Come on home, friend. All right. Come on. You can do it. You can do it. Come on up there. All right. No, go in. All right. Okay, so let's take a look in the book. Husbandry and llamas. I'm calling them llamas, but they're alpacas. They eat grains and fruits. So what we need to do is get some grain to feed them. And then they're going to become familiar. And the more we feed them, we'll be able to eventually shear them. All my grains are rotten. Okay, we've got more. Barley does really well in this climate that I'm in. Oats does not. Get a bunch of grain. Feed these guys. New friend. Okay, so now you can see the what in the world? Their familiarity went up to 6. It needs to be much higher in order to shear them. We're on our way to some wool. All right, so as I mentioned earlier, there's been an update to the pack and some interesting changes to it. Let's grab some bituminous coal here. And notice that, so if you watch the previous episode, I noted that I made coal coke in the coke oven, and I noted that it didn't burn at all. It didn't have this burns at white before. This was just updated. So coal coke now burns twice as much as bituminous coal. And if you make a block of coal coke, let's grab it all. We'll make a block of it. It burns for 1 day. So you could just put a block of coal coke in your forge and have all day white heat. So that's pretty neat. Let's get some more creosote going. We might need some more treated lumber for next stuff. what I want to do next is, speaking of create, there's some interesting stuff here that we want to get into. There's a millstone, which is very achievable. The millstone allows us to get bone meal. This is what you need. I mean, it replaces the quern, but also gives us bonuses on things, and we can get bone meal. This is the only way to get bone meal from bones. You can get bone meal from bone blocks, but you can't make bone blocks from bones either. Let's go get a drink. I always waste a torch when I drink. Okay, so, but rather than getting straight to the mill, what I also want to do is look at this recipe here. This is brand new too. The mechanical press. You can press a refined iron bloom into a wrought iron ingot, and you can press raw iron bloom into refined iron bloom. So we can automate the creation of iron, which if you have yet started in on the process of running the bloomery, getting the bloom out, turning it, refining it in the anvil, and then turning it into iron on the anvil, that is quite a process. Now, I got pretty good at it. I can do it super fast, but the heating part is pretty tedious. So I am really excited to automate that. Now, I've been, testing things out and trying things out, and I've actually made a lot of the things that we need for this. I'll go through them and go through the recipes, but crafting these things is just really, it would take a long time. So I did it ahead of time. I hope you don't mind. But what we need is water wheels, and I want to make some more because I don't think 4 is going to be enough, because we can't move water around. We don't have buckets. We can't place water perfectly for the water wheels. So we're going to need more. And to get sails for wind power, remember I said I was regretting my choices. We need wool or tough fabric to make these things. And that needs wool cloth and wool yarn. So that's what those alpacas are there for. We're going to need probably more than 2 alpacas to get a windmill. So let's go downstairs. Fortunately, right below here, let's bust a hole. And let's just jump in. The doorway's right there. That's the quick way in. Let's light this place up because we tend to get mobs in here, especially down in that cave. So what we have here is some water. It's not moving, but I'm hoping we can cause it to move by putting water wheels in some places. So if I put a water wheel right here. Wow, this water's already flowing. Well, that's convenient. Let's go make some goggles. I made a wrench, but I did not make goggles yet. And for goggles, glass. How do you make glass? We put sand into a forge. Do I have sand? I do have some brown sand. Let's grab some. I don't want to use coal coke for this. Let's just grab some charcoal for this. I was making some kelp earlier. Probably only need 1. Let's see, like this. Give it a stoke to speed it up. Yeah, that was easy. And how much gold was needed? 1 gold plate and 1 string. There we go. And string. There we go. So now we can look at the rotational power on our water wheels. 192. I think if I break this, I'm going to lose this pickaxe in a second here. Whoa. I want to make one more water wheel. Let's look at how we make water wheels. So it is a large cogwheel and treated wood planks, I think. Yes. So we can make one more. We can actually make two more. But let's start with that. 192 times 5. Mm. $128, 96, 192. So these all have kind of different. Oh no, it's working now. Well, this one's what? No. So those have 192. This one only has 96. This one has 128. So there must be some weird water flow down here because of the structure of the rocks. I don't want to mess with it too much right now. This is kind of dicey. All right, we need to dig down to get access to our wheel. And we're going to run it right up through that hole. So some shafts, some vertical gearboxes. So shafts, the recipe for that, very easy. Couple of andesite alloy, but igneous zinc alloy is what they call it, which is made with zinc nuggets and any loose stone. It doesn't even have to be andesite. And zinc, we got some here. I found what's zinc? Sphalerite. I have a pretty good sphalerite mine. So we're in pretty good shape for zinc right now. And the vertical gearbox is cogwheels and zinc casing. And cogwheels are easy, shaft and some treated lumber or planks. And the the casing is, you just put a log down on the ground and hit it with some zinc. I can show you this. I can do this with these crimson stems, I think, which is pretty handy. There we go. Let's grab the wrench too. We've got some collapse. All right, let's put that away and let's put that away. And now let's get the rotational power up here through the floor. Now I'm going to be running a couple of presses, which are pretty stressful. Okay, we're going through that spot. That is really annoying. So I'm not going to multiply the rotational speed. We're just going to leave it at the water wheel speed, which is admittedly pretty slow, but a vertical gearbox this way. We'll just cover that up with some basalt. Yeah, because running two presses plus the pump is going to be pretty expensive, and if I speed it up too much, it just won't work. All right, so we want this right here, so we need a vertical gearbox here. Connect this up here and a vertical gearbox here. Rotate this. There we go. Now it's turning. All right, we're not going to connect that yet because we got to see the placement of the presses. Now I made another press. Here it is. Now we've got this one. Let's disassemble this. Let's make sure this is turning the right direction. It is not. It sent the arrow in the other direction, which means we need another gearbox here. Probably could have done that more cheaply with cogwheels, but I think we'll be all right. And now belts. Belts are really expensive. So if we look at the recipe for a belt, it's not simple. So we get 6 dried kelp planks and 2 wrought iron rods. Now we can bang these out in the anvil. We don't like the anvil. There's this roller right here, which is very makeable. And I made one to test it out, and it's right here. Now this one requires 192. So you can see here, these are going to add up pretty quickly, and I'm not even sure we can run this plus 2 presses. But let's watch this work. We just throw an iron ingot on there, and we get 2 wrought iron rods. Pretty cool. So now we can make belts. I've got my kelp in here because it expires. I dried it. Oh, let's put this in here too. Not that. So this will last a month. I probably made too much, but kelp is cheap. We've got a waystone going to the ocean. All right, so let's grab a belt, couple of barrels. These funnels are pretty cheap, just zinc alloy and dried kelp. So we're going to need those. And our belt is going to go here. And it's going in this direction. So this is going to be our input. I'm going to need to make 1 more gearbox. So what we need to do is put 2 gearboxes on here. Let's make another quick gearbox. There we go. And we'll put this one right here. And now that's turning in the right direction now. You can see that arrow pointing. So that's good. And we've got our presses right here and here. So these take 96. Oh, we did it. Our 5 water wheels is running the whole thing. We'll need to get some gear shifts in place. All right, now this needs to be 2 away, so I'm kind of going into the wall here. But we should be able to make this work. Can I get into the chest? I'm going to have to do it from the outside. Or we just break the wall. Okay, this is the input chest. And out here is an output chest with the other funnel on it. You know what I'm going to want to do is move this out one so I can put gear shifts and be able to turn these presses off with gear shifts, but I can move this really easily. Let's try it out. So I think I have some blooms. Yeah, we've got 4 raw iron blooms. So remember the process. First of all, we got to put the limonite or the whatever iron ore you have in the bloomery. You're going to get these blooms out of there. Now they come out super hot, and you can throw them right on an anvil like this. Oh, like that. And then you got to hit the hammer a bunch of times, and then you get the refined bloom. Then you got to do it again. Again, I got really good at it. I think I've got a video of me doing it super fast. I'll drop that in right now. But now we've got these blooms here. We just throw them in here. Raw bloom becomes refined. Refined becomes iron. Yes. Amazing. Look at that. Imagine the process going through that on the anvil. So nice. Oh, that also reminds me, speaking of anvils, the recipe for the press changed. It used to be more the regular standard create recipe, but now requires an anvil on the bottom rather than an iron block, which isn't really that much different. It's 14 iron instead of 9. So a little bit more expensive. Not a huge deal. So there you go. While we're waiting for it to stop raining, let's feed the goats. Now their familiarity is up to 12. Oh, we got a male and a female. I didn't even notice that last time. I think 16 is going to allow us to shear them. Speaking of that, how do we make shears? 2 knife blades with some flux. All right, I'm going to quickly make some shears. As if we can do this quickly. All right, we need to fire these. I'll do that. Then we will get things cooking. All right, so since we can't melt iron into a mold because it turns into cast iron, let's just make copper shears. Let's just cheap out here. Since this one's already lit, we'll use this one. All right, it should be ready to go. There we go. If we work fast, we should be able to... Nope, we can't. We can't weld them. We gotta heat it up again. Okay, put these in here. Hit them with the hammer. With flux in there. And now we got shears. All right. Now we just need the llamas, the alpacas, to like us. You ready to eat? Oh, ready to shear. Here we go. Ready to shear. All right. We got our first wool, guys. Now it takes several days for them to grow their wool back. And we will continue to get some wool, and then we'll be able to continue on getting a windmill. As the sun sets on us in the background, I think that'll do it for this episode. Pretty excited about this automation. Very cool. So if you like the video, please like the video. Subscribe to the channel to keep up with the series. And leave me comments. I appreciate your tips. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. I appreciate you.